Returning to Afghanistan on the first international commercial flight from the Kabul airport since the Taliban seized the country. The Biden administration said that Americans and legal residents of the U.S. were on the plane, but they leave behind a country in a humanitarian crisis. Ali Rogan has the story.
In Kabul today, 200 more people began a new chapter in their lives. They're heading to Doha, Qatar, and onward to a host country in the first large-scale departure since last month's withdrawal of foreign forces. But they leave behind an Afghanistan on the brink of collapse.
These are important.
Today, the UN refugee chief called for substantial humanitarian support for the Afghan people.
The big development assistance has been suspended. If you neglect them, the humanitarian crisis will increase, and then you have big flows of people that may get out of the country.
This week, the UN appealed for almost $200 million in extra funding. The World Health Organization says 90% of clinics in Afghanistan could soon close. Medics have not received salaries in months, and hospitals are beginning to run out of medicine.
This country is facing a severe humanitarian crisis, and the Taliban don't have the answers for them for how to alleviate this suffering.
Ali Mustafa is a reporter with TRT World, that's Turkey's national broadcaster, and is in Kabul. He says Afghanistan needs hard cash to address the humanitarian crisis.
There is desperation on the streets. There are families that are starving. People haven't eaten for weeks now because they haven't been paid for months now.
This week, Taliban spokesperson Zabihullah Mujahid announced a new interim government, an attempt to project normalcy. It's now the Taliban that must ensure stability and security nationwide. In Kuwait today, Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin warned that al-Qaeda could reemerge in Afghanistan.
I think the whole community is kind of watching to see what happens and whether or not al-Qaeda has the ability to regenerate in Afghanistan. We put the Taliban on notice that we expect for them to not allow that to happen.
Still on the streets of Kabul, Afghan women continue to lead protests against the Taliban takeover. Yesterday in Kabul, a Taliban member used a whip to beat a woman during a demonstration. Today, 2 journalists said they were tortured by the Taliban after covering the protests.
When they treat journalists like this, it's possible that journalism will stop in Afghanistan within a few months. It will be destroyed.
This week, a Taliban spokesperson told Australian TV that women's sports would be banned.
Islam and the Islamic Emirate do not allow women to play cricket or play the kind of sports where they get exposed.
Mustafa said the Taliban is balancing a need to appeal to Western governments with the reality that many in its ranks remain conservative.
If they come across as too moderate, half of their people will revolt against them because they were with the movement for 20 years based on certain actions, certain principles.
For now, the Afghan people must live in that uneasy balance. For the PBS NewsHour, I'm Ali Rogan.